The news reaching us from Kaduna is very heavy and emotional. In southern Kaduna, farmers came out in large numbers and staged a powerful protest that shocked many people. They marched barefoot, they dressed in black, and they even painted their faces black. They went all the way to the palace of a traditional ruler in Kurmin Jibrin, Kagarko local government. It was not a normal protest. It was something deep, something that carried pain, sorrow, and a cry for help. Please, if you're just joining, remember to like this video and subscribe, because what is happening now concerns everybody. Now, why did these farmers come out like this? The protest was because of repeated attacks on their communities. Their farms have been destroyed, their crops wasted, people have been attacked, some even killed or kidnapped, and many families are living in fear. These farmers said enough is enough. That is why they came out in this unique way, to show that they are mourning, to show that they are tired, and to demand answers. When people paint their faces black and walk barefoot, it means they are not just angry, they are broken. They are crying to the whole country, telling everyone, look at our suffering, see what is happening to us. And they did not go to the palace by mistake. They went there because the palace is a symbol of authority and dignity in the community. They wanted their traditional ruler to feel their pain and also carry the message to government leaders. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe as we continue. Some people online are already spreading heavy headlines, saying things like civil war has started in the north or that Hausa people destroyed a Fulani palace. My people, we need to be careful. Right now, what we know and what is confirmed is that farmers in southern Kaduna protested strongly. They entered a palace compound and they expressed their sorrow. There is no verified report of an all-out civil war in the whole north. There is no confirmation that a Fulani palace was destroyed by a Hausa mob. Those are big claims that need clear evidence, and until we see that evidence from reliable reporters, we cannot accept it as truth. But what is true is that tension in that area is very high. People are angry because they believe government is not protecting them. They believe the attacks are happening again and again without justice. When crops are destroyed, farmers lose their income, their food, and their future. When attacks happen, people lose their loved ones. When no arrest is made, it makes the community feel abandoned. That is why this protest was so emotional and powerful. If you are following this gist and you want to stay updated, please like this video and subscribe now. Let's also remember that this issue of farmer-herder conflict in Kaduna and across the Middle Belt is not new. It has been going on for years. Farmers say cows are destroying their crops. Herders say they need land for their cattle. Violence has broken out many times. Villages have been attacked, houses burned, and families displaced. Some herders have been accused of carrying weapons and launching attacks. On the other side, some youths from farming communities also carry out reprisals. So, what we are seeing now is not something that started yesterday. It is a long problem that has not been solved. The southern Kaduna farmers' protest is like a wake-up call to government. It is a cry that says, we are tired of this. And you know, if government does not act, things like this can grow worse. Because when people feel that they cannot get justice, they may want to take laws into their own hands, and that will not bring peace. So the leaders need to act fast. They need to send security to protect the communities, to investigate attacks, to arrest suspects, and to give the people feedback. If not, the tension will keep rising. My people, as we are breaking this down, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe. It helps this news reach more people. Now, some people are asking, what does this protest really mean? It means the community is saying they are in deep mourning. The black clothes, the painted faces, the barefoot walk, it all shows shame, sorrow, and pain. It also shows that the people are humble enough to go in peace, but strong enough to demand justice. This is why many people are talking about it online. Videos and photos are going viral, showing the crowd and the way they stormed the palace. But we must be careful with how those videos are captioned. Some captions are exaggerating, calling it civil war, but the real gist is that it was a protest, not a war. And you know, if there is something we should all learn, it is that peace is better than violence. Kaduna and Nigeria in general cannot afford more conflict. Everyone wants to farm, to trade, to raise families, to live in peace. That is why when we hear news like this, we must talk with wisdom. Instead of spreading panic, we should spread facts. Instead of shouting civil war, we should shout for peace and justice. And please, as you listen, remember to like this video and subscribe so you can get all our verified updates. Another thing we should talk about is how government and leaders can solve this problem. Number one, security has to be serious. Communities must see police, army, and local security protecting them. Number 2, humanitarian support is needed because when farms are destroyed, people go hungry. Government and NGOs need to bring food, shelter, and medicine. Number 3, dialogue is key. Leaders must bring farmers and herders to the table and agree on how to use land, how to avoid clashes, and how to punish anyone who breaks the peace. But even beyond that, government must work on long-term plans. Grazing routes must be properly managed. Farming communities must be supported with tools and compensation if they lose their crops. Justice must be transparent. When criminals are arrested, people must see that they are truly punished. If all these are done, then communities will start to trust again. My people, if you agree with me so far, please like this video and subscribe to the channel now. Now let me also tell you why this protest touched people. It touched people because it showed courage. Imagine walking barefoot on the road, painting your face black, and storming a palace. It is not easy. It shows that the people are desperate. It shows that the suffering has reached a point where silence is no longer possible. And it also shows that the community is not just crying quietly, they are crying loudly so that the whole Nigeria and even the world can hear them. Some of you might ask, what will happen next? For now, journalists and local sources are still following up. There may be government reaction, maybe a statement from the governor, maybe deployment of more security. There may be new protests if nothing changes. There may also be more viral videos online. So we need to keep watching and keep updating. And that is why you should subscribe so that whenever new information drops, you will get it firsthand here. At this point, let me remind you again, we should not blame an entire ethnic group. Not all farmers are violent. Not all herders are violent. Many people just want to live in peace. The problem is caused by armed groups and criminals who exploit ethnic differences. If we start blaming whole tribes, the problem will get worse. What we need is to focus on the criminals, demand justice, and keep pressing government to do their work. I will keep following this story because Kaduna deserves peace and Nigeria deserves peace. As we wait for updates, let's stand for calm, let's support victims, let's push for justice, and let's avoid spreading hate speech. That is the real way forward. And please, once again, like this video and subscribe now because more updates are coming your way very soon. Now, let's go deeper. When you look at the Southern Kaduna protest, one thing stands out. It was peaceful but very powerful. People did not carry weapons, they did not attack anybody, they only carried leaves in their hands and they used their body, their dressing, their voices to pass a strong message. This is what we call symbolic protest. And sometimes, symbolic protest speaks louder than even violent protest because the image stays in the memory of the nation. A child painted in black, walking barefoot to a palace, that picture cannot be erased quickly. Why is this important? Because it shows that the people still believe in peaceful methods, even though they are angry. It shows they want attention, not war. It shows they are asking the leaders to act before things get out of control. This is why I am telling you, if you are watching this gist right now, don't just scroll away, like this video and subscribe so that you can always follow how these things unfold. Let's also remember the role of traditional rulers in all this. In Nigeria, a palace is not just a building, it is a sacred place. It is where culture, tradition, and authority come together. So when people march to a palace, it means they are not just complaining, they are lodging an official complaint to the moral center of the community. They believe the palace has power to speak to higher government, to the governor, to the president, to security agencies. That is why the protest went directly to the palace. And that is why this story is strong. But here's the danger. If after all this, nothing changes, if the protest is ignored, then frustration will grow. People may feel that even their loudest cry is not being heard. And when that happens, they may be pushed into desperate actions. This is why the government must not sleep on this matter. They must act quickly. Security has to be visible. Relief materials have to reach the victims. Clear arrests and prosecutions have to be seen. Otherwise, the whole situation may boil over. Please, as you are listening, don't forget to like this video and subscribe right now. Now, let me give you more background so that you understand why Kaduna is always in the news for these kinds of issues. Southern Kaduna is part of the Middle Belt region, a place where farmers and herders have lived side by side for decades. But over the years, population has grown, farmland has expanded, grazing space has reduced, and climate change has made things even tighter. Cattle are moving further in search of grass, and farms are blocking old routes. That clash of interest leads to conflict. Add to that the presence of armed groups, weak policing, and lack of justice, and you get what we are seeing now. Many times, after attacks, communities complain that no one comes to their rescue on time. By the time security arrives, the attackers have already left. And when arrests are not made, people start to believe that government is looking away. This is why emotions are always high in southern Kaduna, because it is not just about one incident. It is about years of pain piled up without solution. That is why this protest felt so intense. Don't forget, if you are still watching, like this video and subscribe now. Now, some people may ask, is this really about farmers and herders only? The truth is that politics also enters. There are people who benefit when communities are divided. Some politicians use ethnicity to gain sympathy. Some leaders benefit when fear is high. That is why, even though the farmers are crying for their crops and their lives, the conflict is bigger than just cattle and farms. It is about justice, fairness, and leadership. And unless leaders step up, the cycle will continue. We should also remember the human side of this story. Imagine a farmer who planted maize or yam for 6 months, working under the sun with hope that harvest will feed his family. Then one day, cows enter the farm and destroy everything. Imagine a family that sleeps at night and suddenly armed men attack their village, burn houses, and carry people away. Imagine a child who cannot go to school because his parents have no money after their crops were destroyed. These are the realities behind the protest. When people paint their faces black and walk barefoot, it is because they are carrying pain that words alone cannot express. As we are breaking this down, let me ask you, do you feel the pain of these communities? Do you think government is doing enough? Drop your thoughts in the comment section, and as you do, like this video and subscribe so that your voice can join others and spread. Now let's talk about solutions again, because we cannot just cry without suggesting a way forward. One solution that many people have mentioned is ranching. If ranching is done well, herders will have secure land to graze, farmers will have secure land to farm, and clashes will reduce. But ranching needs investment. It needs land agreements. It needs government support. Another solution is compensation. If farms are destroyed, government should pay the farmers something, even if it's small, to show that they are not alone. That way, people will not feel abandoned. Dialogue is also very important. Leaders must keep talking to both sides. Farmers must feel heard, herders must feel heard, and everyone must be part of the solution. When only one side feels blamed, the problem continues. But when both sides are involved, peace can grow. Now, let's touch on the misinformation side of this gist. Social media is powerful, but it can also be dangerous. One video can carry wrong information and spread to millions of people in hours. Some videos have already been shared, saying the protest was a civil war, or that Hausa and Fulani are fighting directly. My people, we must be careful. Those videos are not always true. They may be edited, or the captions may be twisted. That is why we should wait for verified reports before we believe. If we spread false news, we can cause panic and even more violence. So, let's all be careful. Please like this video and subscribe if you agree that peace is better than panic. I also want to talk directly to those in government. If you are listening, the people are tired. The barefoot march, the black paint, the storming of a palace, these are warnings. Do not ignore them. If people lose trust in leadership, if they believe nobody is protecting them, then things can get very bad. This is the time to show leadership. This is the time to stand with the people, not just with words, but with action. And to you watching me now, remember, peace begins with us. Don't use your social media to spread hate. Don't call one tribe bad because of the actions of criminals. Support peace, support justice, and call for action. That is how we will all benefit. And my people, as we are still talking about what happened in Kaduna, let us not forget that this is not the first time we are seeing this type of reaction from the people in the north. Some months back in Zamfara, angry residents took the bold step of burning down the emir's palace after crying out over rising terrorist attacks and what they described as failure of leadership to protect them. That incident shook the whole of Nigeria, because for a palace, which is supposed to be a sacred and respected symbol of tradition, to be set ablaze by the same people it represents, it shows that patience has run out completely. Now look at today. Kaduna is boiling with the same kind of anger. Farmers painting their faces black, marching barefoot, storming the palace. This is the very same cry of frustration we saw in Zamfara. It tells us that the north is not only tired, but that this tension is spreading. If nothing is done, if government and traditional rulers do not listen and provide real security, more of these palaces, more of these symbols of authority may be at risk. And this is why we must keep asking, is Nigeria really paying attention to the cries of the ordinary people? Because once citizens start turning their backs on both government and traditional institutions, it means trust has collapsed. What happened in Zamfara was a warning. What is happening now in Kaduna is another loud signal. So viewers, let us reflect on this together. Do you think this chain of protests and palace attacks could push leaders to act faster, or is it leading us to something even more dangerous? Drop your thoughts in the comment section, because this is a gist we must not keep quiet about. And please, as you are watching, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and share it so that more people can join this important conversation.